YouTube? Welcome back to We Sibs, West Coast, East Coast siblings. If you're like, hey, this looks different, I am recording from my car because it was too loud in my apartment and I was getting distracted by my roommates. So, hopefully you can see me and I'm sure you can hear me. The acoustics in a car are great, am I right? Anyway, Deadpool and Wolverine. This is going to be my spoiler-free review, so fret not. I will have a spoiler-full review. All right, let me just pull up my notes here. It's also so hot in my car. I'm the Los Angeles part of WeSib, so I love it. Anyway, the chemistry. Oh my Bob. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is only the second movie that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have ever done together. The first being the Wolverine X-Men Origins, which I loved. I don't know why people say that was a bad movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They've been trolling each other on the internet for a very long time. They're clearly friends, and they were great together in this movie. They were funny and just very true to their characters. Wolverine's gruff and seriousness really shines with Deadpool's just outrageous behavior. And that gets me into the fight scene. Obviously, Wolverine and Deadpool fighting is like an iconic duo. And while I was watching it, I was like, oh, it just gives Batman, Superman, like in real life, you know, BVS vibes. So that was awesome. I will say the fight choreo, I was not thrilled with. It wasn't like, yeah, but it was still good. You know, it does not answer that age-old question, who would die first? I hope that didn't spoil anything. The action in the movie as a whole was pretty good. It wasn't like earth-shaking. I just saw Twister, so I'm just like, but it was still really, really good. It was like a solid superhero movie. You can tell that Disney's fingers are in it because it is lighter, just in like the presentation. The other Deadpool movies are a bit darker, and maybe that's just a technical observation, but this movie is visually lighter. Still very graphic, and still like the humor is quite dark, but the visualization of it is lighter because it's a Disney movie. The next biggest thing I will say is the freaking cameos. You guys, the cameos in this movie are exceptional. I'll talk about this a little bit later, and I had mentioned it in the short that I posted yesterday, but like the fan service is so good, and they do it with cameos. They do it in a lot of different ways, but there are some cameos in this movie that I never would have guessed in a million years. And maybe it's because I'm not like hardcore trolling the internet like I should be, like a real comic fan, but some of these things really, really surprised me, and that just thrilled me. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, we had old characters that we had never seen, we thought we'd never see again. We have new characters that we will be excited to see moving forward. And then we have some characters that have always been rumored, but we never actually saw. Yeah, some cameos we would have been happy to forget. And there's some other cameos that just show up and are just like, whoa. So let's talk about the story a little bit. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to acknowledge what you've seen in the trailers. And it's that Deadpool is calling himself Marvel Jesus, and he's going to save the Marvel Universe, and specifically the MCU. I think this movie does that on a lot of fronts. It doesn't fix everything, but it certainly gives a reason for everything. I think it acknowledges the multiverse issue, the multiple timeline issues across X-Men movies, like very tongue-in-cheek. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Marvel does with this new Deadpool fixing of things. And honestly, I don't think there was any other option. Now, just want to touch on some of the drama that we have in Marvel in the real world. What is going on with Jonathan Majors? Who is going to be our big bad? There are a lot of things going on, and I'm sure we'll hear more coming out of Comic-Con this weekend. Marvel still has a funky spot to be in. We also have Agatha All Along coming in, I think, October. For a long time, people were rumoring Mephisto. Who knows if that's still a thing? Obviously, we were thinking it was going to be Jonathan Majors' character as the Kumquat. Wow, my brain is just not... It's terrible. I'm literally seeing him and I can't. Anyway, what is going to happen to the MCU is the question. I thought the storyline was a little disjointed. I think there was a lot going on. And I'm not going to lie, I was distracted by the fan service. I felt so seen in this movie that I kind of forgot what the story actually was or was supposed to be. But the general line is clear, obviously. I mean, it's a movie. It's still good. I don't think it's as good as the first Deadpool or the second Deadpool in terms of storyline. I thought this movie was great. I just feel like storyline-wise, I got a little lost. And it could be because I was so distracted by all the shiny cameos. A lot of people are comparing this movie to Spider-Man No Way Home, but for Fox. So it's like fixing timelines, we're acknowledging mistakes. And I think that's a fair assessment. I think with Deadpool, you have a lot more than just Deadpool. You have a lot more than just the X-Men. You know, you have the Fantastic Four, you have Blade, you have Elektra and Daredevil. Opens a broader world. And it's so crazy to me now because there are plenty of kids who are Marvel fans who didn't grow up watching these movies. Like, all they've ever seen is the MCU. Interesting. Not a full introduction, but an acknowledgement that, like, these things are in the past and something different is coming in the future. Now, the jokes. Guys, again, I just honestly think that this movie was made for the fans. You can enjoy the movie if you haven't seen any Deadpools. You can also enjoy the movie, I think, if you've never seen a Marvel movie. Will you enjoy it more if you have seen those things? Yes. I really do feel like this movie was Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's kind of warm, fuzzy hug to the fans who have been there from the beginning, and it really, really felt that way. I mean, there are like rumors acknowledged and things that people have been talking about on the internet for years, characters and casting of characters that people have been talking about online for a long time that they intimate. I'm trying not to spoil anything. And they did a great job. I'm really, really excited to see what Marvel does next, because now that Deadpool and all these Fox characters are in the MCU, clearly they're going to shake things up. Clearly that's going to change things and take us in a new, darker direction, which is what I've always been excited about. I'm a huge X-Men fan, so I'm excited to see how their darker, grittier stories are going to be added into the shiny, clean Disney MCU. Good job, Marvel. I'm excited about the MCU again, and I think most people are. And I'm like, honestly, superhero fatigue was never a thing for the real fans, right? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think is next for Marvel? Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my spoiler full review where we'll break down every single cameo that happened in the movie. We'll break down the story, what exactly happened, what this could mean based off of the things that happened in the movie and what we know about the MCU that is coming. So if you want to check that out, click the next video. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you like the video, comment, subscribe, and click the bell so you... Yeah, that's all I got.